In Kashmir, every Friday is for Azadi, and every other day, the Jhelum splashes as if aimless over the rusted fence, the stuff of stars. There stands an iron door leaning with utmost care into an old whitish wall, with plaster drips and many words so erased that they remain. The wall speaks every Friday in dark ink, and every day when fresh blood soaks women's nested wails and men's scrolling silences, whispers of the ancient kind made illicit take form. Azadi, Azadi, Azadi. Every Friday, woven in bunkers, in the downtown and new city, any rifts vanish yet again. The ancient door pulls the old wall closer, its multiple openings and closings sounds like love does endure. The wall re-etched, forever pregnant, fossil text, prehistoric cave carvings, a sickness of the must kind, love, Azadi, Azadi, Azadi. Next day, again, the grim painters return, with buckets of black, sometimes white. Next day, the wall again will lend its newly virgin pawn to hurried scribbles. The door stands by, a precarity of the loyal kind, never jealous, opening and closing, allowing all the mad lovers to enter and record their deed, their cheap cigarette stained fingers flying like the finest ostrich quills. A must reenactment. Azadi, Azadi, Azadi. Every Friday, the witness of the river folds back smugly into its eddies, knowing, even before it's Friday, on Friday, Azadi, Azadi, Azadi will return. That was the poem in Kashmir, Friday is for Azadi, and every other day. The poem is by Ather Zia, who is a Kashmiri poet and academic based in the US. I don't recall exactly when this poem was written, but in the context of Israel closing Masjid al-Aqsa, as we know, they closed it periodically throughout Ramadan and then closed it effectively, completely for the final 10 days of Ramadan, um, and restricted access to it. It's important to point out that this tactic of controlling important mosques is imitated by other colonial regimes. So it's not only Israel who does this. And of course, one of the most brazen cases of this as well is India's colonial regime in Kashmir. One of the most important mosques over there in Kashmir is the Jama Masjid of Srinagar. Srinagar, of course, was the summer capital of the former state of Jammu and Kashmir. The winter capital, of course, was Jammu, which is in the south of that region. And it remains kind of the capital of what today is the Union Territory of Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir. And we'll get to that in a bit. Srinagar's Jama Masjid is also important, not only because it is the Jama Masjid, which is the main mosque in the city, but it's also the seat of authority of the Mirwais of Kashmir. The Mirwais is a political and spiritual position of leadership that's unique to the Kashmir Valley. And the current Mirwais, Omar Farouk, he's both a religious scholar and a resistance leader. And he's been under house arrest with a few short periods of exemption since 2019. And 2019 is really important to mention here because on August 5th, 2019, the constitutional status of Kashmir was changed. So for those who don't know, Kashmir came under Indian occupation in between 1947 and 1949 as part of a war that was fought between India and Pakistan around the time of partition. And ever since then, there was a standstill agreement, after which point a plebiscite was meant to be arranged as to whether Kashmir would join India or join Pakistan. Kashmir, of course, had a unique, relatively unique distinction of being a region within South Asia, within sort of formerly British India, that had a Muslim population and a Hindu ruler. So this presented a little bit of a puzzle for the two countries that were meant to be formed out of the British Empire in South Asia. Muslim majority regions, of course, went to Pakistan, and Hindu majority regions went to India. But of course, Kashmir's situation meant that there was a bit of a question mark over what was to take place. Of course, the referendum, the plebiscite, never happened, and Kashmir remains, or at least a large chunk of Kashmir, which includes most of the Kashmir Valley and Srinagar as well, remains under Indian colonial rule. And in 2019, that status was changed further to allow for people from India to purchase and own land in Kashmir, which previously was prohibited under something called Article 370, which was kind of a provision within the Indian constitution that was meant to govern the relationship between Delhi and Kashmir. That's very significant because, of course, yesterday we spoke about the importance of land and the importance of not regarding land as a commodity and land as being a living thing that your community has to have a relationship with. And the allowing of people from India to purchase land in Kashmir effectively creates a situation where the demographics of the region can be changed. So that Muslim majority, and previously the state of Jammu and Kashmir was the only state under the Indian Union that had a Muslim majority. And that Muslim majority that created this kind of complicated legal question about whether it would join India or Pakistan is India desires to dilute it, and to ensure that there is demographic change. And demographic change really is one of the really important things that links the Indian colonial occupation of Kashmir to Israel's colonial rule over Palestine, because Israel, of course, is also incredibly obsessed with demographics. And so that's why I chose this poem for today, because, in trying to think about confronting, Israeli colonialism in Palestine, we also have to think about all these different other colonial processes that it's related to. And one of the most significant ones is that of Kashmir and India's colonial rule there. This, kind of relationship and this sort of similarity is also not lost on Indian authorities. So, for example, after 2019, it became very difficult for people in Kashmir to express even pro-Palestine sentiments. So before that, pro-Palestine speech was relatively tolerated in Kashmir, almost as an avatar for pro-liberation sentiment in Kashmir itself. But after 2019, that was no longer the case. So in 2021, in May, when the Sheikh Jarrah protests erupted in Jerusalem, in Al-Quds, in Palestine, there were many people actually who were arrested and faced consequences in Kashmir for speaking in support of Palestine. So, for example, one of the cases is that of the religious Islamic preacher Sarjan Barkati, who faced consequences for mentioning Palestine in his Jum'ah khutbah around that time. And after that, of course, references to Palestine were tolerated only if they were made in Arabic in the Jum'ah khutbah, because that's a language that most Kashmiris don't understand. So these references couldn't be made in Urdu or in Kashmiri, the local language. They could be made in Arabic, as a way of obscuring its relevance to people in the region. And of course, after October 7, 2023, all Palestine protests were banned, and there was an eerie silence, my Kashmiri colleagues would tell me, regarding Palestine in Kashmir. Now, coming specifically back to the poem, there are a few things to point out. I think one of the most interesting ones is, of course, in the opening line, we are told, in Kashmir, every Friday is for Azadi, and every other day the Jhelum splashes as if aimless. One of the most important things about Kashmir, of course, is the fact that it has a bunch of rivers that lead into both India and Pakistan. And so controlling Kashmir also means having control over water resources. But at the same time, like land, rivers cannot be commodified. And so one of the main things that India does as a form of aggression in Kashmir is building these big hydropower projects that actually don't support the local communities in Kashmir. In fact, there are communities that live close to different tributaries of the Jhelum River that consider the river as having become angry because of the infrastructure that's being built around there, that actually is seeking to control the river in a way that's not sustainable. And then, of course, coming to the actual significant word in this poem, Azadi. Azadi is a word. It exists in Persian, it exists in Urdu, it exists in Pashto, in Kashmiri. and it means freedom. And so the you know the in recent years as well, there's been a co-optation of one of the most important Kashmiri liberation chants, and that is Hum kya chante azadi, zara zor se bolo azadi, hai haq hamara azadi, hum chain se lenge azadi, khushbu wali azadi, hai jaan se pyari azadi, e mola de de azadi, शुहदा के सदक़े आज़ादी अगर शहीद हुआ तो मेरे कफन पर लिखना आज़ादी, which is, of course, an Urdu chant which rings throughout the valley at moments of protest. And it translates to, what do we want? Azadi, freedom. Say it more loudly, Azadi, freedom. It's our right, Azadi. We will snatch our freedom, Azadi. That which smells beautiful, Azadi. That which is more beautiful than life, Azadi. Mola, grant us Azadi, the sadaqah of shuhada, Azadi. If I am a shaheed, write on my grave Azadi. And so, inshallah, those of us who Allah will bless with the fate of being shuhada, martyrs in the path of Allah, we will have done so for the greatest of causes, which is, of course, defending those people who are oppressed in this dunya and demanding freedom from those oppressors and from those طغيان and ظالمين who are oppressing people in this dunya. And on our graves, inshallah, and on our foreheads, we will also write Azadi, Hurriya, freedom. And we will come back to you again after this short break with our next guest.